where did my train of thought go? It went without me. It left the station. I'm medium convinced about this one. I love me some pasta. I love me some carbohydrates. I'm unsure, but look how pretty it is. Yeah, do I need it? No. Do I want it? Yes. Hello everybody, it's Sylvie. Welcome or welcome back to Tarot Magpie. I hope you're doing all kinds of good. In today's video, I am basically going to take you through some of the decks and books on my wish list. I've been feeling that itch to just buy all of the things recently, which is not a sensible decision for my collection and the amount of space I have and the attention I want to give to my decks. It is also not a sensible thing financially. And so to kind of calm down and curb that itch, I am just going to share with you the things that are on my wish list. I'm hoping that looking at some pretty pictures and talking through the reasons why I want all of these decks and books will help me to kind of put things in perspective and calm down a little bit. This is mass market, current and upcoming decks and books and the reasons why I want them. I'm just sharing what is shiny and interesting to me at the moment. So all right, first up, we have the Supernova Tarot, which came out, it says in May, but I swear it's not been out that long, but regardless, this is just, I'm obsessed with the art style of this, and the colours and the way that the borders are used, I think is so cool. And it just looks very, it's kind of camp, it feels queer, like the pool floaty in the moon card. And like this carousel with the knights, I just think it's fabulous. I watched, I think Tom Benjamin did a walkthrough of this deck and highlighted the lack of diversity in the images, which is a shame, but I still think it's incredibly cool. These backs are really cool as well. I love the art style. It looks really fun. So I badly want this deck. It's expensive. It's nearly £33 in the UK at the minute, so I'm not getting it anytime soon, but this one is really high on the wish list. Tarot of the Spirit. This has been on the top of my brain ever since I did the tarot study sprints with Tara and Dee, and I know somebody else was in that live stream. I'm real sorry. I can't for the life of me remember. But Dee was studying this book actually, because I know it's books 1, 2, and 3, and this deck. And there's no pictures here, but it's Thothy. It looks really, really cool. And I've been really feeling the pull towards the Thoth. And the reason, actually, it's the book that made me want this deck more than the deck itself, and the way that Dee described the book. And she read a passage from one of the court card entries and I just immediately fell in love. I was like, yes, I want something that is this deep and really getting into it and esoteric. I think it's really, really cool. The only thing that is making me really hesitate is purely that this book is called Kabbalah and Tarot of the Spirit, and I know the Thoth is already very heavily, I don't know about if based on is the word, but it utilizes the Kabbalah and the Tree of Life. This deck also corresponds to the 10 spheres of the Tree of Life and the Kabbalah. I know nothing about the Kabbalah. I don't have, I'm not Jewish. I don't have the cultural context for it. And it's one of those things that I feel like I need to do a little bit of research to decide whether or not I feel like it's appropriate for me to be using the Kabbalah and cherry picking that aspect of Jewish mysticism for my own tarot reading. I don't know. I know that it's at least a semi-closed religion, so I feel I have some gaps in my knowledge about that, and I want to kind of fill in those gaps and see how I feel about that. But regardless, I am so interested in the Tarot of the Spirit and also this book because you know me, I love a study deck. I love a really chunky book to get involved in. I like to learn something with my tarot. I have a lot of study decks and decks that are based on bits of history and bits of folklore that I simply don't know anything about, and I really enjoy that. But because this is using the Kabbalah, which is from, I'm never sure if it is a closed religion, which is why I say like semi-closed, because I know that anyone can learn about it, but in order to convert, it's like a process. Like I say, research needs to be done, but I'm feeling very thothy. So this is high on my list, but the thoth in general is high on my list. Okay, the Pasta Tarot. Angel, this is your fault. Angel from Feeding My Soul showed this, I think nearly a year ago. I think it was last summer. And I'd seen it around on the internet previously, but I didn't realize how much fun it was until I saw it on Angel's channel. And I've just been wanting it ever since, frankly. It's queer created, and you know I'm always after more queer decks. I love me some pasta. I love me some carbohydrates. And I also just think it looks really fun. And like, do I need more fun Rider-Waite-Smith clones? No, not really, but I do want it. I do want it. And I think these backs with the gingham are very, very cool. I'm in a big, like, artistically speaking, I'm in a very gingham picnic fruit phase. If I remember, I'll insert an image of the collage I did for the second half of my Hobonichi planner for this year, and I'm in a fruit gingham picnic blanket phase. So this is also really calling to me, but I have wanted this for nearly a year now, so this may well make its way into my collection, because this one also not expensive as decks go. I can get this, it's always sitting around 14 to 16 pounds, so maybe I will get myself a little treat at some point. All right, the Connolly Tarot deck. This says here, published 1990. Is this a reprint? But then no, because down here it says also 1990. I swear I never saw this until a few months ago. It suddenly seemed like it was being advertised to me everywhere. So I don't know what happened there. I don't know if I was just missing it for a really long time. But this again, it's a Rider-Waite-Smith clone. And this looks like the Aquarian tarot that would work for me. It's really colourful. It's got that similar kind of retro styling to the artwork, but this one is really vibrant. It kind of looks like stained glass, I think, with the vibrant colours and this quite strong black outlining to all of the figures. I think it's really cool. Do I need another Rider-Waite-Smith clone? I have the Morgan Greer, which is a Rider-Waite-Smith clone that is bright and punchy. Do I need this as well? Need? Obviously not. Let's be clear, I don't need any one of these decks. They're tarot decks, they're not my rent. Okay, medieval stained, it is supposed to look like stained glass. So there we go. Yeah, do I need it? No. Do I want it? Yes. It's this Two of Cups that keeps getting to me because these colours are so bright. And like these gorgeous purples and the Fool. I really like it. It also looks kind of cheesy, but I like it. And that's what I like about the Morgan Greer, is how kind of cheesy it looks. So we'll see. The Awakening Tarot. Okay, this is a little bit newer. This came out this year. This is a deck by Monika Bodersky. I apologize if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. I have been so intrigued by all of her decks. She did the Shadowlands Tarot and Le Normand, and has done, oh yeah, no, she did that charm casting card set, which is probably recommended somewhere. Yeah, this one, the Between the Worlds shadow casting deck, which I have seen on Kelly Bear's channel a couple of times, and I am so intrigued by, because I really like the way Kelly describes how she uses it. And I've wanted a Monika Bodersky deck. So yeah, it's the Shadowland Tarot and the Shadowland Le Normand. But I don't know, these don't feel like the decks for me. I think the illustration style is really cool. I don't know if it's one that I personally would read with a lot. Although now I'm looking at it and I'm like, but it is really cool. I'm unsure. But the Awakening Tarot is her newest deck offering. And this appeals to me so much. So first of all, the way that it is called an elemental approach. I feel like I've been banging on for months now that I'm really into this kind of elemental approach myself. Specifically, it started with the court cards, but I've just been really into the elements and kind of reading about the elements and trying to think about the tarot more elementally. Oh my god, okay, the buzzer for this flat is the loudest thing and it just scared me absolutely shitless. So I think I was complaining about the preview images for the art of this deck is not very not very helpful, but here we go. I like the art style. I think it does look really cool. I'm not sure, I don't know, because this, the way there's all this white space, that is something that I have in a few other decks that I really enjoy, but I'm not sure if it's maybe too white spacey and too ungrounded in the card. Doesn't this look so cool? Visionary of Fire. I like how the court positions have been renamed. And I also like the layout of this guidebook. You can see we've got an image description, which I did a whole video about guidebooks recently. I want the guidebook to reference the artwork, because if you're not talking about the specific artwork, what is the point? So we've got the image description, which isn't very long, but does kind of give us a insight into what the artist was actually trying to portray, which feels like it's really obvious, but I do find that really helpful sometimes. Keywords, a message, which looks a bit affirmation-y, upright, reversed, and shadow, which is different to reverse, which I think is interesting. And then reflection questions. I love reflection questions in a guidebook. You can use them as journal prompts. You can use them as tarot spread prompts. I don't know if this is the case for the minors as well as the majors. Let's have a look. Perhaps not the prompts. But then here we've got reflection questions and then the 7 of air, so presumably it's the 6 before that. So yeah, these reflection questions, you can use them as journal prompts. You can use them as spread prompts. Is something I like to do. So I might think, okay, what did we have down here? We had the Chariot. If I'm like, okay, I'm feeling like I really need some Chariot energy today, and maybe I pick 3 of these reflection questions and pull a card for each of those reflection questions and use this like a spread. This guidebook looks so cool. The elemental focus is something I'm really into right now, and I've really wanted to try a Monica Badursky deck because people speak so highly of her decks. And when I say people, I mostly mean Kelly, I think, who I think has all of her decks and talks about them fairly frequently and sings their praises. So this is really on my wish list. I'm really, really interested in this deck. I also think those backs are absolutely gorgeous. All right, the Symbolic Tarot of Worth. This is the mini that just came out, but there is a bigger edition. This is very much a Thea Made Me Do It, Thea Garden Goddess Tarot. I also had the opportunity to look at this deck in person in a shop fairly recently, and it's I guess it's Marseille. But then the interesting thing about this is how in the minors you have a symbol from the majors, so you've got that numerology, which I just think is really, really cool. So here's the lamp in the 9, we have the wheel there in the 10 of coins. Do I need another Pip deck, Marseille type deck? No. Like, again, do I need any of these decks? No, but I'm not proficient in Marseille. A Pip deck is a Pip deck is a Pip deck. So I really need to be sensible about how many of those I bring into my collection. But I do think this little like hint towards the major images is so cool. I think it's really clever. The color palette, I also really like. I think it is a really pretty deck. So maybe I want the mini, maybe I want the larger size, maybe I will hold my horses, but I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. But I am very intrigued by it. All right, this is another new-ish one. This is the Under the Oak Tarot, and I'm so torn on this. First of all, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous, beautiful artwork, and I kind of think it might be the fairy tale-esque, storybook-esque deck for me. These backs are absolutely stunning. I don't know if it's based on mythology and folklore. We've got the Green Man here in the Emperor. I don't know if it's based on anything in particular. I know very little about this deck. I should watch some walkthroughs and reviews, but I'm trying to make up my mind a little bit more before I watch videos and inevitably get swayed by other people one way or the other. I have been, oh, it's a harpy? Is she? That's cool. I hadn't noticed that before. Is she a harpy? Is that what's happening in the Temperance? I love that. Anyway, where did my train of thought go? It went without me. It left the station. Yes, I've been feeling like there's a gap in my collection. A fairy tale, kind of cutesy, kind of cutesy but not, and kind of child friendly but not. Like, I don't actually want, there's a bunch of fairy tale decks out there that I don't want because they actually are cutesy and child friendly. I want one that is like that but is Sylvie shaped and I think this deck might be it. I think the artwork is stunning. This is such an interesting Five of Pentacles, and I don't know what's going on, and I want to read the guidebook about it. This is also one of the things that is making me hesitate about this deck, because I'm like, well, if this is the Five of Pentacles, how readable is the rest of the deck? So in conclusion, I need to watch some reviews, but the more I look at it, the more I want it. The colors are delicious. It's like with all these extra eyes going on, and like it's got a layer of almost creepy, which works for me. This is so cool. This Temperance is absolutely, I'm having such a moment with the Temperance card over the last kind of couple months. It's been like one of my favorite cards to look at and one of my favorite cards to see pop up. Are we actually based on any particular folklore? This description is very unhelpful. She's blind, but she perceives the magic. Discovery of a different perspective. Okay, I need to read some reviews or watch some reviews, but I'm very intrigued. I'm not £27 intrigued. I need to be convinced to spend this much money. So I either need to be more sure about it or it needs to come down in price. But like, this is a deck that I want to buy just to find out if I like it. But like I say, not for £27. It's not the most expensive deck out there, but as mass market goes, it's on the kind of upper end. So, all right, the Gustave Doré, I'm sorry. This is an older deck. Well, it came out in 22. That's only 2 years old. Why do I feel like this has been around for ages? I'm not sure. But this is an existing artwork deck. It's biblical imagery. I know nothing about I had no interest in this deck until I saw it in person, and then the artwork is absolutely stunning. That is the sole reason it's on this list. This High Priestess with the lamp on it. I'm not familiar with his work whatsoever. I'm not very familiar with the Bible. I just want it because it's pretty. So another one that needs a little bit more, maybe more research. I think I just need to watch a couple walkthroughs and see if the artwork makes sense to me. Because I think it says it's Llewellyn. I thought it was Lo Scarabeo, but it's a real little white book situation. It's I think it's a missed opportunity that this didn't come with a like expanded guidebook that actually told you about the artwork. But because I don't know about the artwork, I don't know about the Bible, I need it to be readable. So yeah, some walkthroughs I think are going to be necessary, but I saw this in person. It's absolutely stunning. Right, Oracle decks. This is the Dirt Gems. This came out mass market this year. I've wanted it since it was indie. It's beautiful. Like, look at this. Of course I want it. It's bright colors on a lot of black backgrounds. The art style is stunning, but the cards just have the title of the plant, and I don't know my plants. I'm currently in a very planty phase. I'm like wanting to learn some herbalism. I don't know how to best go about that in terms of my house plants. They're thriving. I'm in a real plant phase. I'm really wanting to like learn some more about this. But as we stand at the moment, I have very little planty herbal knowledge. So art cards with a plant name are not going to do much for me in terms of an oracle deck, which is why I have been sitting on this one. Like I say, it's newly mass market, so it's not going anywhere anytime soon. It does look like the guidebook has a lot of info, but I don't like an oracle where I have to rely on the guidebook, which it seems like I might have to with this. There we go. It's sitting on the wish list. All right, the Water Alchemy Oracle. This is so cheesy. This is so cheesy. And look at this. This card, I'm in love with it. Like, it is kind of cheesy, but I think this card is absolutely beautiful. And then like this, I'm less convinced. I'm medium convinced about this one. I think this whole deck being focused on water, and what did I just say about I'm really into elemental stuff at the moment. I've been working on this, I don't even know what I'm going to do with it, but I've been working on this like database for myself with different weathers and environments and ecosystems and how they track elementally and how they can correspond to like different tarot cards and specifically the court cards. I'm really into it at the moment. So this whole deck based on like whirlpool and ice and reflection, like different ways that water, I guess, manifests and is a thing we see in our world, like it's a very real thing, and then putting it in this like oracle context and coming away with ways to work with it and like the energy. And I think this is really cool. I also like, it's kind of cheesy, but I love it. It's one of those. So the Water Alchemy Oracle is on my wish list. It was not this low priced when I put it on my wish list, so maybe that one will come into my life sooner rather than later. All right, this is the Crystal Clear Oracle. This came out earlier this year. I don't know what video it was, but I mentioned not too long ago that I'm looking for a crystal deck. This is not that, because I want a photographic crystal deck, but this is still one that I want because it's absolutely beautiful. Again, it is just picture and crystal name, and I don't have a lot of personal associations for crystals, so limited usefulness. Whereas like the Water Alchemy, to jump about a bit on what I was saying about keywords, this also just has a title, you know, it's just droplet, whirlpool, ice, whatever. But because I have been working on this whole like personal bank of associations and meanings for what all these different things are, that's fine, that works for me, and I'm happy to just use that's already in my brain and work with the artwork, and then also work with the guidebook if I want to. Whereas here with the Crystal Oracle, I don't know what Kunzite does, I don't know what Moonstone does. Like, I know some bits and pieces, but not a lot. There's also a lot of animals in here, and I also don't necessarily have a lot of associations and personal meanings for animals, so I'm unsure. But look how pretty it is. And I think the art style is beautiful. How many cards are we? This is 40 cards. Okay, that's not too... I prefer more than that, but like 40 is okay. So the Crystal Clear Oracle, I think I would really enjoy. What's the guidebook like on this one? There's a cat in the tiger's eye. Oh, sweet. Okay, the guidebook, we've got like a title and some keywords. I don't love this first person's perspective from the crystals. That is not my vibe, but like, life goes on. It's on the list. I think it's really beautiful. It's not high on the list. I definitely don't need it. All right, books. This is Red Tarot, a decolonial guide to divinatory literacy. I have this on Kindle. It's incredible. I need a physical copy because I need to be able to flip through this and mark pages and do the highlighting thing and do the post-it notes. I need a copy of this. It's on my wish list. I'm hoping somebody gets it for me for my birthday in a couple of months, but if they don't, I will get it for myself. The Gil Tarot Guidebook. I recently got the Gil Tarot. I spoke about it in my haul video and possibly another video. I've been loving this. I didn't realize there was a longer, bigger guidebook until somebody mentioned it in a comment. This is £2.29 on Kindle, so I don't know why I haven't bought the ebook yet, but this is very much on the wish list. And then this isn't tarot, this is astrological transits, which I'm very into my astrology at the moment. I've been really enjoying it, and I have heard good things about this book. I have been getting more comfy with looking at what's going on and kind of putting the pieces together in my own chart, and like looking at like the current sky and looking at what aspects are happening between, you know, if there's like a trine with something in my chart. I'm getting much more comfortable with like reading charts, and I feel like the next step for me is to get something like this to refer to the transits that are happening as they happen, to kind of get it in my brain a little bit more. Because at the moment what I'm doing is I'm seeing that, I don't know, that Mars is trining my Venus or whatever, and I have to look up what Mars is up to and what Venus is up to and what a trine means, and kind of put the pieces together myself. And I think this would be a really handy reference for me. So again, it's on my wish list. I'm hoping somebody gets it for me for my birthday. We shall see. But if not, I'm getting this for myself. I might even get it for myself before then. You can't tell me what to do. All right, this is one that isn't out yet. No, it is out already. This is a book. This is Star Codes, Navigate Your Chart with Choice-Based Astrology. And this is very hesitantly on my list because it's the same creator as this Star Codes Astro Oracle, which I've seen a bunch, heard some good things about. Like I say, I'm into my astrology at the moment. This deck is coming out in a pocket edition in a few months. Pocket Oracle. Okay, this is coming out as a pocket sized in November. And my plan is to get this when it comes out in a mini, see what I think, and see what I think about her general approach to astrology, and then maybe also get this book. Or alternatively, maybe I'll get this book and then see if I like it, and then also get the deck. Hard to say. I'm interested. I'm interested. Anybody who has her deck or this book who has opinions, I would appreciate hearing them because, yeah, I'm interested. All right, the neuroscience of tarot. This, thank you to Imogen of Sapling Tarot because they did a video kind of looking at stuff that's coming out this year. And this was one of those books. I did not know about this book previously. This is so my shit. It's tarot and it's science. It's tarot and it's neuroscience. And I feel like if you've been here for 5 minutes, I would hope that you know that like this is my shit. I love to bring the kind of scientific approach and the scientific mindset and the scientific perspective to something like the tarot, which on the one hand is full of systems and frameworks and has rules. But on the other hand, it's intuitive and we can make and break those rules however we like. And I just really like meshing the two together. It's my thing. This is like the neuroscience of what happens inside your brain when you look at a tarot card. I can't wait for this. I'm going to pre-order this if I haven't already. I'm going to get this. And I think it's just incredibly, incredibly cool. And Forward by Mary K. Greer. I feel like I trust this implicitly. I mean, I'll do a little bit more research before I actually spend money on it, but this looks so cool. This looks right up my street. It's a scientific approach to intuition, which is just like, that was made for me, no? All right, 78 Acts of Liberation. This is by Lane Smith, who is Left Lane Smith on Instagram. Yes, more of this, please. It's a radical collective approach to tarot, or it's using the lens of tarot as a framework for active collective action. I did a poor job of explaining that, but it feels like it's along the same vein as like Radical Tarot by Charlie Claire Burgess, which I have, which I love, which is very much a tarot guidebook from this kind of more leftist, more decolonial, beyond the binary kind of perspective. I have, but have not yet read Tarot for the Hard Work by Maria Minnis, who wrote the foreword for this book. So I haven't read that yet. I'm getting to it. I have a million things to do, million things to read. But I am extremely pleased to see this is available. It's out 2 days before my birthday, so I think that definitely has to be a pre-order and a birthday present to myself. I'm happy to see more books of this kind of specific genre coming out. I think it's brilliant. All right, finally, this is the last, but not the least, book, deck, anything that I'm going to talk about in this video. This is Unlocking the Tarot, Create Your Own Keys. You've heard of this. This is by Lisa Pepez of TarotTube. I'm sure you've heard of this. I am really intrigued by this specifically because she takes a very single keyword approach to learning the tarot. And I, as a person, am a little bit more like, I don't want to say anti-keyword because I think keywords are really valuable. I definitely have keywords for the tarot, but my personal approach is a little bit more, I guess, thematic than keyword based. And so I'm just really intrigued to see how she approaches it with keywords, because my issue that I find personally, this is all in like my personal experience of tarot and how my brain works. If I assign a keyword to something, I am in danger of taking that too literally and forgetting about everything else outside of that word or that handful of words. I really struggled to learn the tarot when I was just trying to learn keywords. I ended up trying to match keywords with images like they were flashcards, which is not a very productive way to read the tarot, and I didn't start really learning it properly. It didn't start clicking in my brain until I started to like cross-reference the tarot more and look at like overlapping themes and, you know, intersections between different cards and different decks, and that's how I've learned the tarot and that's how my brain works. So I'm just really curious to see how she breaks down this very single keyword approach, because that's the whole shtick. Behind every tarot card lays a single expansive keyword you can use to unlock profound insights, which just on the face of it feels so antithetical to the way my brain works in approaching the tarot that like I'm really intrigued to see how she goes about it, because obviously she knows her stuff. I'm just intrigued to see how different people's brains work, you know? So that is also on my wish list. This comes out in November, at least in the UK. Dates in the UK are always way different to anywhere else, so like don't take it as gospel. But anyway, that is the last book that I had to share. My wish list is 100 miles long, but this is some of the stuff I'm most excited about at the moment. Some pre-orders, or I don't know if I've actually pre-ordered any of these, but some upcoming releases that I am really interested in. And that is it from me. I have no idea how long I've been talking, but I expect it's long enough. So let me know what you think. By all means, talk me into or out of any of these. But I think it's done the job. I think I feel less itchy to buy something right this minute because I've got it out verbally. So maybe my bank account will be safe for the time being. But anyhow, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for spending some time with me. If you've made it this far, I really hope you've enjoyed it. Give me a like if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.